Hi, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Woo!
Yeah!
That's right.
And also, we gush about the Tigers for like 2 seconds. I can't believe they won another playoff game.
This is incredible. I mean, if you've got Scoobs going on Saturday, it's over.
This is a done deal.
This is done. We're in the ALCS.
It'd be weird when people bought a ticket for tomorrow and the Guardians don't show up. That'll be weird.
Yeah, why even try tomorrow if you know Scoobs is coming up? This has been a hell of a ride. It's definitely something, you would have hoped for as a Red Wings fan last year. You were rolling in. And those last couple games were a lot of fun, even though they didn't result in anything. But clearly the kids here are having a ball. There is a lot of strategy going into every single game. Like it's just blowing my mind. Every decision that's being made in the playoffs right now by Hinch is just like
I think this is maybe the worst collection of talent with the greatest manager of all time. This is unbelievable. If you were going to do a fantasy draft right now of both teams, there's no way outside of Scooble. It would probably be Scooble and then 9 straight Guardians.
Right. You're saying one Tiger first, and then it's an unprecedented 25 straight Indians go.
Unbelievable. But we are going to talk hockey. Ketzel, what up, fellow nerd? Legion Assault, what's up? Hope you guys are pumped for fantasy hockey this year. I know I got it in the bag because somehow we let Zegras go through waivers, and now he's on the Soda Bloomin' Onions.
We made some adjustments to our league right after the draft. If you didn't catch it and you haven't filled out all your bench spots, we added some.
That's
bench
the best
spots.
way to do fantasy sports is to prepare for one way and then have it immediately changed once the draft is done.
Yeah. I wasn't happy, so I was like, I'm gonna add some bench spots. That's how you manage a league. I wasn't happy. Hey,
Matt,
you guys signed up for it.
You know who is happy? Because he's employed. Matt Austin Watson, welcome aboard.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar, for anybody listening to this, I highlighted the most important stat here on the bottom left-hand corner of his slide. The 1,209 hits in his career so far. This guy's brought in to take. We need somebody to protect our boys, take some of those hits. Obviously, he already got sent down or put on waivers, and from where I stand right now, I can't confidently tell you what's going to be in the lineup tomorrow. But there was the mention on social media that Steve's really going to be hammered down on the salary cap, sending guys down that that could probably make it through waivers to build cap space throughout the entire season. They did it a lot last year. They did it a lot the year before, but they're going to keep nickel and diming these guys, sending them up and down so that they could save any cap space possible. Any little inch they can get. I like it. If we're not going to see, like, that's the question mark that I raise. Is just if we're gonna be that, like, the tactics are gonna be that, like, focused on for, like, the cap movement. Why weren't we that focused when we brought in large contracts or guys that weren't going to make the team? Or
when we were looking at Jake Wallman's contract? Where's that kind of meticulous nitpicking?
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
And micromanaging. Now we've learned our lesson. All right, starting now, we're gonna really start paying attention to this cap sheet because you could lose a good player like Jake Wallman. Whoops. But yeah, I mean, this guy, it's great. He's got a job. I foresee him only playing. How long is our season series against the Senators? I foresee him maybe playing those games, and just kind of skating backwards, behind Larkin wherever he goes, and just making sure he doesn't get hit in the neck. That's basically his job, is to beat up Ottawa.
And if you're wondering why it's Austin Watson and versus anybody else, I'll direct your eyes to paragraph 2. He's a native of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and
there it is.
One of the easiest things for Steve Yzerman to do is pull in these guys that have some connection to Ann Arbor. But boys love they love running out that career, right, with the old wing wheel.
It's not a bad thing. I just didn't realize that this is what it had come to, where the Red Wings used to have this global approach to like picking up the best and brightest, and now it's very, very regional. It's very regional.
Can you make the half-hour trip from 94 to downtown?
Or are you from the Midwest?
I screwed that up. Damn
Wait,
it.
are you from Michigan? Have you driven on Michigan Avenue in Chicago? Well, come on down. We got a job for you, my friend. So, Watson, I'm going to be happy when you annihilate some Ottawa Senators. That's probably all we're going to see him for.
Malcolm Subban also signed with the Griffins, covering as Sean Shapiro threw out there, covering Sebastian Cossa while Jack Campbell is in the player assistance program. Of course, if you guys didn't hear over the last week, that was another bit of news. Jack Campbell does enter the player assistance program. Okay, so here's where we stand, Mike. We have projected cap space, and it's it'll inch up there as Steve continues to send guys up and down. But at the start of the season, projected cap space 573,000. You are right up to it. I believe I could be wrong here, but I think it was Rick Tocchet that once said, you can like. Any GM can spend up to the cap and make a playoff team, but only a real GM can make a cup contender. So, and Tocchet, of course, coach with Vancouver right now. But point being, Mike, we spent all our money, so we should have a playoff team now. We did it. We can't really bring another player in because you got to hit that 775.
I think sometimes it does feel like Yzerman listens to some of our podcast episodes, because it's like, God, how come we're just not active at all at free agency? He's like, oh yeah, well, watch this, and we'll still miss the playoffs. You guys don't know anything. All right, Steve, we got to get good players. You got to what's all this extra cap? What are we saving it for? And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to nudge right up against it. You guys don't know anything. So yeah, this is a direct response to our motor mouths. So Steve, get you loud and clear. Looking forward to seeing how you fill out 10 roster spots with 20 mil next year. It's going to be really fun.
Ketzel thrown out there, but we don't have an $8.25 million goalie to give us a 20-point bump in every projection. Ooh. Believe that's a shot at the Ottawa Senators. Just gave Allmark a matching contract to Jeremy Swayman's 8.25.
Let's go.
Oh, how much fun was that? And then it all ended just like it always does in the NHL. The guy sticks around with the same team that he threatened to leave. Man, there's almost never any drama with these players unless they get traded. There's nothing there. The NHL. I wish there was an acronym that we could turn into the no fun league, but it's no happiness. It's just everything turns out exactly how you'd expect. But here's another thing, Mike, that turned out exactly how we all expected after weeks of, hey, maybe we could do this lineup. Hey, maybe we could do that lineup. It's the exact lineup we all projected after day 4, I guess, the free agency after Tarasenko was picked up. So if you guys aren't, if you're listening to the podcast and you aren't familiar with this lineup that we all knew was coming a few months ago, so hats off to the creative minds behind the bench this season. DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond, Tarasenko, Compher, Kane, Rasmussen, Cop, Fisher, Mott, Veleno, Berggren. Woo!
Defense, Sherratt, Sider, that's a pairing. Edvinsson and Petrie, that's certainly a pairing. And Matt Olimata and Gustafsson. We'll make up that third pairing there. And Matt Albert Johansson made it. How about that? Huh?
Woo!
Let's go. And then at goalie,
big win.
Talbot, Lyon, and starting the home opener tomorrow will be the Who. So, I'd say the biggest surprise is that they're maintaining this Comfort, Kane, and Tarasenko line. I don't know what kind of minutes they're going to give those three guys, but maybe Sider will just, whatever his pairing is, will just be attached to them every single shift, because that's like zero, the opposite of defense. God bless Comfort, but he can't cover for three people.
Yeah, if there's, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I said, if there's the tiniest bit of a fumble at the blue line, I don't know. And we're not talking about like it's not like we've ever labeled Comfort. Like, we don't need to talk about good skating. Just like fast enough. Like that's not found on that second line. That's scary. But I still, it's still tough to look at what's in the lineup and try to fix it, because it's not like you're going to fix the speed problem with Andrew Kopp going on the second line. But there was potential like for some more fun. And there's also this question too of why are we splitting up DeBrincat and Kane? There's just still questions remaining here that don't make sense. And I did pull up to Ansar Khan's post from practice today, so we can confirm this does look like the opening night lineups. On the power play, Mike, Comfort's your net front guy. Larkin's your bumper. Kane and Raymond are your flanks, and Gustafsson will be quarterbacking the first power play unit. Second power play unit, Rasmussen's net front. DeBrincat's your bumper. Tarasenko and Berggren are your flanks, which I love. Watch out for Berggren on the flank. That's like his sweet spot. And then Sider will be quarterbacking power play too. I love Berggren on the flank on this power play. But of course, you focused on the first power play, so conversation might be moot. I'm having fun with the word moot. But yeah, I mean, X factor for all of this could just be goaltending plays out of its mind. Talbot puts up a season like he did for LA, but if Talbot does what we have been saying since he got picked up, where Jesse Granger is very fearful because of the way our defense is porous, and where it gives up shots is exactly where Talbot fails. So then we've already seen a season with Lyon and Husso. We're a couple deep with Husso. So there isn't a lot to go there for you to say like, yes, okay, we have a couple of goaltenders that'll keep our head above water. So then you go to the real problem, the defense. And that's where it just starts to get scary. And it's not like there was like a solution coming out of preseason that we were going to fix everything. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm not terribly excited. I obviously, you just saw me get juiced up reading the second power play unit. That's probably what I'm most excited about right now. I feel like everything else is just kind of like, yeah, that's samesies from last year. And that was the team that, if anything it's a downgrade because you're putting in Gustafsson instead of Gostisbehere. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm coming to. I think because I did
notes.
come up. Yeah, go for it.
Well, first, I do want to hit a few comments. Ketzel is coming in hot as usual, saying he's looking at face-off percentage from last season. Comfort, unacceptably bad as our second-line center.
Which is scary. You lose the face-off with Kane and Tarasenko being your wings. Your deepest man is now the most responsible if it was an offensive zone face-off. Go ahead.
Well, he also just wanted to tag that and say Kopp was north of 50%, believe it or not. Ketzel, I think you and me and Matt and a lot of the people who, are in this show, like we can kind of understand the value of a face-off, but was it like 3 seasons ago where we were like, oh God, was it like Glenn Denning who led the league in face-offs, but he still just didn't control the puck when he had it? Does that sound kind of accurate? I guess it's just kind of something to keep an eye on. Yeah. But I don't even understand the value of that stat anymore because I feel like so many people have just said, nah, it's still not a puck control thing. And Jared, of course, coming in hot with jokes. Shesterkin is going to bend the Rangers over. Referring to another goalie making quite a bit of money and make more. Poised to make more.
That I don't. If you guys haven't heard about it, fun comment here is Shesty turned down which would be make him the highest paid goaltender of all time, but he's looking to bank. Finally, Mike, we have a smart hockey player. He wants a short-term deal because he wants that the cap number to go up, so he's got more room to make more money in a couple of years. Just genius.
I don't know why it's taken so long for a single hockey player to put that together, but good move. Smart move, bud. Go get that bag of money.
Hell yeah.
Chewy, glad to see you're here. Always happy when you are part of the show. We're always afraid of your next comments. Usually God is mean to you, so hopefully he's nice to you this week. Brad coming in hot with probably comment of the episode so far. The TCK-ing time bomb, which you could pronounce the ticking time bomb of Tarasenko, Compher, Kane. Brad, if that's yours, that should be a shirt, my man. I love that.
Oh my gosh, that is brilliant, Brad. Are you in marketing? I love that. Oh my god, I love that.
And then Brad did have a real suggestion, swapping Bergs and the Fishman, and let 48 get.
Yeah. I do think a lot of people just relied on the Rasmussen, Kopp, and Fisher line had a good March and the worst March of all time for the Detroit Red Wings. And I honestly, I'm kind of hoping it just fails from the get-go because I don't like the 50-50 booking, right, in pro wrestling, Mike. And what you're doing with this line is no offense. Certainly don't have to worry about giving up a point, but it's just you have a third line out there that'll just shut down. And there has been a lot of call outs of Kopp has a really tough job, but I mean if you compare him across the lineup, he only has tougher competition compared to last season. He only has tougher competition compared to Joe Veleno. Compher had faced tougher competition, and Larkin faced the toughest competition of all the centers on the team. And Larkin was in the 99%. So it's the same argument we make for Sider. So we kind of you got to talk out of both sides of your mouth, or you're talking out of both sides of your mouth if you think the statistic doesn't matter for Kopp. But certainly Kopp has a lot of easier minutes than Larkin and Compher will get. It's kind of status quo for a third line. So just, it's one of those things. It's just, it's going to be a nothing result. Maybe that's great. You shut down the other team's third line for a minute and then you move on. Don't have to worry about a goal being scored. Hats off to you, third line. But I really like the burger in there to get maybe just a modicum of offense infused in there. Just a little bit more than Fisher.
I don't know if what they're trying to say is we'd rather just have specialties. That's what this arrangement says to me. I want to know with confidence that all three of those guys on my third line are going to be able to play some defense. If they happen to do anything in the offensive zone, that's a nice bonus. But I want to be able to count on a line that I can deploy, against Crosby's line tomorrow. And as much cringe at the thoughts of what's going to happen to that defense with Tarasenko, the ticking time bomb, compliments of Brad. You should patent that. I love that. Copyright it. Maybe it's just that Lalone. Well, I got a face off in the offensive zone, and all we got to do there is win that face off, and it's going to be a scoring opportunity. We got two of our more skilled guys, with the puck there. So we got Tarasenko and Kane and Kaners and Tarasenko's and Confersers, and really good at coming up with nicknames. And so really excited anytime they get an offensive draw, and we'll just kind of play it like that. So I think maybe that's what they're going. It feels like what they're doing is identity lines and not necessarily the best version of the boggle of what I'm going to call our bottom nine. Because I do agree that it would be nice to just see what the Burgers looks like on the third line, or That fourth line, I don't know what they're going to bring to the table. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of defense. I don't foresee a lot of offense. It just kind of seems like, well, these are our, 10, 11, and 12 best forwards who made the team. So they're all playing together now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I made the argument a couple weeks ago where I'd even consider Tarasenko on the third line, and you get
easy. Hold on. Very important comment here because Dan B said, I've missed your newsie. And I'm so glad you're here for it, Dan. All right, Matt, continue.
Wait, I got to pat myself on the back, guys, real quick.
This doesn't happen very often. I need that compliment. All right, go ahead.
No, it's I mean, mine is, minor. We've talked before about maybe spreading Tarasenko down to the third line and getting a little bit more creative. I think that's I just have a problem with, we all knew this lineup was coming. There isn't really anything getting me out of, nothing's getting me out of bed. Nothing's getting me excited. It goes back to my, everything is pro wrestling, and I am.
Do you know, can I
say the rock did come out, Mike, for this lineup. There's no rock. It's just, all right.
I got to say, with this lineup, and really it's tied together by who's starting game one in net, and Ketzel saying Veleno needs to be replaced with Kasper. This to me feels like this is the showcase lineup, so I can trade you. I need you to be on the ice and demonstrate some value so I can move you. Like when I saw Husso was starting game one, it's like, yep, we got to get him out there, get him confident in front of a home crowd. Maybe he wins a few games, and maybe we could turn that expiring contract that we have no interest in extending or re-signing. Like, he's gone. There's no way Husso is a Detroit Red Wing next season. I would be absolutely floored if they re-signed him, unless it was some, like the Alex Lyon discount at, less than $1 million. So I don't know if that, really means that our forwards are super tradable. I don't know if a lot of teams are dying for a Veleno or a Cop, to basically do the same job they're doing for us. But it, at the very least, is just trying to, this is the showcase lineup. Apologies to Showtime Kane. This is the showcase lineup where it's like, all right, you guys are supposed to be my aces, and then I got to try and move you so I could get the young kids in. So good luck.
I mean, you make a lot of sense. I do feel like it leans, as I have already been, but both of our thoughts here lean super pessimistic. And I think it's now better time. There's no better time, Mike, than to go through the first month of the season with that high ride of confidence on this lineup and figure out what we can do here, because this first month, Mike, does have the lowly Pittsburgh Penguins, who are just getting older. The rumors of Sid the Kid possibly getting moved so that he can help Pittsburgh rebuild. Those rumors are getting louder. You got the Nashville Predators a couple of times, Mike, home and away. Of course, Nashville's got their brand new Stamkos, Marchessault. I'm not sure if they're going to be paired on the same line. And Brady Shea, too. Very underrated. That was a guy I had targeted. They maybe overpaid for him, but Nashville's going to be super fun to watch this year. Couple against Shesterkin, like we already mentioned. We have one against New Jersey, who just absolutely destroyed Buffalo over in Europe. And then, I don't know, maybe a little bit easier here, the Islanders, Buffalo, and Winnipeg. I think those are definitely 3 winnable games. And Edmonton, who's coming for blood this year. If you guys have watched the Amazon Face-Off series and watched Connor McDavid just go, let's fucking go! Get all you got! It's just nuts. I highly recommend. Go find that series, Mike, on Amazon. It's the first time. It's not about the team. It's about like specific players, and they just so happen to be on hockey teams. It's a ride. It's I think the NHL killed it here, but kind of forcing these guys to like, nope, you're gonna make good content. You're not gonna throw this one in. Anyway,
I would
say so it's a tough first one.
Yeah, this is a test. I mean, playing the Rangers, that's a tough couple games. Like you said, with Nashville, they were pretty aggressive this offseason. So those are the teams that I admire. Playing Edmonton, Buffalo, I still respect the crap out of, and the Devils, who I thought also had a pretty good offseason. So, the Islanders are right neck with us, in my opinion. I don't really see any cupcakes unless you want to call Winnipeg a cupcake. So that's the end of the month. So you basically get a. Maybe it's just because I feel like we have something to lose that it feels like all these games are really tough. But yeah, I mean, maybe the Penguins game in Winnipeg. Those are our. I guess the easier games. Can I say that?
I mean, yeah, you could run into a Hellebuck.
Let me redact easier. I'll say I feel like we should have enough talent to like easily defeat those teams. Even easily, I want to redact. We're more talented than those two teams. There's something I can agree on.
Go for it.
Let me agree on myself. There we go. There's two teams I feel like we comfortably have more talent than, and it would be a disappointment if we lost those two home games.
I want everyone to throw in the chat what they're seeing for this month. Ketzel's the first one in there. Realistically, see 5 wins here. Wow. So I don't think you're far off there, Ketzel. When I first looked at this, I think I came up with 4 wins. When are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think you win. I think you win opening night, and then I think you're going to lose 3 straight.
Wow.
I'm sorry. 4. You're going to win against the Islanders. You got your second win. You're going to, I guess I got Buffalo and then Winnipeg.
Wow.
So Pittsburgh, New York, Buffalo, Winnipeg. And it's, some overtime losses for sure will get mixed in there. I feel like it's possible the doors get blown off against New York. I think that happened at least once last year, and Edmonton. But I'm when I look at these teams specifically, I'm giving us the wins where I see our roster is better, and I'm also trying to disqualify like the home ice advantage when it comes to like Edmonton because it's Edmonton, and again, I think they're coming for blood. We saw when. McDavid, for if this actually touched reality or not, but felt challenged when it was kind of called out like, oh, the MVP should go to the guy who scores the most goals. So then McDavid went out and scored 60 goals the next season to just kind of shut everybody up. And then the season after that, he's like, okay, now I will get back to helping my team win. So like right now, I just feel like Edmonton's going to roll this entire season and Connor McDavid's going to drag this team kicking and screaming. Not to mention they upgraded too. But I do think, you were right. Winnipeg's the win. I think there is the energy of home ice against Pittsburgh. You get the win. If you do not beat Pittsburgh tomorrow night, Mike, oof, it's rough. And then I do just kind of feel like Nashville is going to come in hot to start the season. I think they're going to bank enough points here early. They'll probably slow down in the second half. I mean, they are an old team, but they'll also have some room here, Mike. If you'd like to take a guess, which team has more cap space, the Nashville Predators or the Detroit Red Wings right now? Just feel free, take a stab.
Based on the slide you had earlier, I'm going to say any other team but the Red Wings.
Actually, you know what? Funny thing, Toronto Maple Leafs, they have $1. This season, teams are really right up to the line, but Nashville has $4 million in projected cap space right now. Crazy.
I couldn't remember. So last season we did get swept by the Rangers. We lost 5-3, 3-2, and 4-3 in what was our super important April. We lost that huge game. Then we beat Buffalo. Lost that. Remember that close game against the Capitals, 2-1. Then we lost to Pittsburgh 6-5. So maybe we have a little receipt there. And then we, beat Toronto and then back to back with Montreal. So I think the tough part about this slate of games is that the commentary has been, well, the Red Wings are going to, they scored a lot of goals last year, but then they gave up a lot of goals. So this year they're going to try and change their approach, and maybe they won't score as many, but they're going to give up less goals. I think it's just going to be really tough to kind of figure out a brand new team identity against teams that I do respect on offense in Nashville. Yes, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, McJesus and the boys, and the Devils. So I just wish it wasn't these 10 games that we're going to use to try and, all right, now we're a defensive team. Because I don't know if we have the defensive mustard yet to kind of figure that out. And we've all looked at this game one lineup that they're going to use for the first, second, third, and fourth lines, and we can all kind of be like, well, I'd kind of move these players here and that player there to maybe kind of even out the scoring and defense a little bit more. So I'm not looking forward to this gauntlet, Matt. I gotta say, I mean, if you're going to be a playoff team, can you really say that like a 4 and 6 month is acceptable?
No.
So, I mean, you got to go at least 5 and 5.
Yeah. Actually, we'll call that out. Ketzel, ooh. If we get out of October 5 and 5, I'll consider it a good start. Totally agree. Dan B, it's a good thing the NHL doesn't do relegation, else we might be moving down. So Ketzel, he's got again that extra win. He has us winning the first two and then beating the Islanders, New Jersey, and Buffalo. I am really scared of New Jersey. Buffalo, I'm also scared of because the last time Lindy Ruff started 0-2, and people were talking about, wow, what a terrible coach this is for his team. He and the New Jersey Devils won like 19-20 after that. So we'll see what happens. I still think there's something there in Buffalo, and the goaltending looks great. I love Darren's comment, though. Wings love to win games against teams we expect them not to. Lose games to teams like Chicago and San Jose. So that means we're going to go 9-0-1 or something. But Darren, I love this comment. Darren's probably right. We're going to start 9-0-1, and we're going to start stitching the banners together for a conference championship and a Stanley Cup. And yeah, we'll figure out if we can get Husso's jersey into the rafters early. But Darren, you might have nailed it. Brand new wants to know 1-8-1 start out of the gates. Does Newsy get fired?
Yeah,
I think it depends on how you look
on that one, because that's I think that would probably be fireable.
It depends on how you look, though, right? Like if they look like they've given up and don't care, for sure. But if they, I don't know, like we just said, this is a tough schedule. So could you really? What if it's Edmonton they beat?
They beat the Rangers on the road and Edmonton at home. You
right.
Still so I honestly I don't know what it would take for him to get fired in the first month. Maybe 0-10. Because I mean, this is another one of Yzerman's handpicked guys, so I feel like firing him would kind of be like, well, Steve, you handpicked this guy. You thought this was going to be the savior. You assembled this team of, I almost said jabronis, of professional hockey league players. So who do we really have to blame here? Is it really Newsy's fault? Like Steve gave Newsy, Justin Hall, and Newsy's like, there's not really a damn thing I could do with this guy. Let's maybe put him in the press box a little bit. And I mean, what's Newsy supposed to do with that? So I don't know if he's even. This is quickly becoming Blashill territory. He's not playing with a full deck, you know what I mean, or a full hand here in this game of cards. So I think it would be tough to fire him because it would be an indictment on Yzerman. It would be tough to fire him because I think in their heart of hearts, they know this is not a Stanley Cup team.
Now, this is in the slide deck, but this is a way we can call this out. But
where did this come from? Who published this?
For anybody, well, we'll do a couple things here. Okay. This is Frank Saravelli, and he's proved himself to be quite the piece of shit this past week. in his projection for this year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Of course, brought in the late Johnny Gaudreau, and it was not nice. But this does remind me, at least, so we'll close this up. I just needed that reminder. Also, DraftKings has Lalone number 3, most likely coach to get fired first. It's kind of a mouthful there. I was listening to the boys on Puck Soup, and they did mention like the last few coaches that got fired early. There was no indication before the season started. So don't put your money down on that, guys. Usually doesn't happen. But nationally, there's the feeling. It's just that the Wings are going to come back. I mean, the odds makers are feeling like the Wings are going to come back, and Steve's going to look for somebody to blame. But I also think you're right about the team that's been built. Steve hasn't. I mean, it's not like he would, but there's no proclamation of Stanley Cup contention here. I actually do find it tough to believe that Derek would get fired. Partly because I do think they'll put out close to or just over a 500 effort throughout the season.
Yeah,
but if I believe that, I also think that we're right on schedule. I don't think we're going to blow the doors off this year. So there's no real sense of urgency to like find a new coach until you.
If you want an analogy for the Red Wings being a serious team, they basically still have their Javi Baez and Kenta Maeda on the team. So until we're kind of off those guys sucking up, cap space and not letting the, guys we're excited about, like the Kaspers and Danielsons, Cossa here in the next year or two, it's kind of an inevitability. I think we'll be on the cusp. But I did have a few comments I did want to get in there. Corey Eisel, I don't think we said hi to you today. How you doing, Corey? Said Justin Hall to the rescue. Brad throwing in, who is still holding on to the title of comment of the episode with his ticking time bomb, is AJ Albert Johansson staying up as a 6'7". It looks like it.
So far, he's still there. Yeah.
Brand new saying, I get the feeling I'm going to be defensive about this team all season.
Oh,
got him.
Brand new. I love that.
The king of optimism is in the house. Blake, welcome aboard, saying nobody scares me right now. Red Wings go 10-0 this month. Woo-hoo-hoo!
I don't know, Blake. I wish I had your optimism.
I wish we all did. I wish we could all be as optimistic as Blake. This team is ready to get to the playoffs, Blake continues. It will be a great year. Wow.
I love you, Blake.
Blake next door to a dispensary having a great old time over there. All right. And then Ketzel saying we have talent on the ice. It'll be 100% on coaching. I mean, do we though? Up the middle. I think we'll have talent with Danielson and Kasper called up. I'm not gonna do cartwheels over Copper Cop and Veleno. And
yeah, I still feel like the defense hasn't.
I don't want to get it. Don't get it twisted. We're not talentless. I just don't think we're quite as talented as some other teams might be.
Yeah, at least we didn't just bring in a bunch of free agents, like Nashville that are like top tier. You gotta overspend to pay them, and then we still fumble the ball. We brought in, we kept a guy who kind of looked like he tested the market, and the market said we're good. And then the other guy who was well past the start of free agency, because I feel like maybe he did the same thing and went with his best contract. So, we're filling holes on the team. It'll be fun to see these, 30 plus guys and see what points they can put up. But yeah, I just can't get too mad at Lalone for dealing with that. So we did want to call out too some of the other projections that are out there. The Athletic starts. I don't think this is a season projection, but this is their power rankings. They have the Red Wings at number 16 to start the season. Jay Fresh projects the Red Wings to finish with 87 points and outside of the playoffs. And ESPN just gave us a pretty lazy podcast and just said they just didn't talk about the Red Wings because they'll be outside of the playoffs. So who knows? So not the most fun week of content for NHL previews. Also, What Chaos has us it's at 7th, and Puck Soup also has us out of the playoffs. So it's not quite the
this is
charcuterie board.
the screenshot that you saved up on the YouTube show that you can't see on the podcast. Is that from Jay Fresh?
Yes.
So they have the Utah Hockey Club at 89 points and your Detroit Red Wings at 87.
Yes. I do like Utah this year.
Pretty good. I also heard there might be the Utah Yeti, and I'm going to be buying a jersey if that's the case.
I mean, you got to buy a jersey now because that's going to be a collector's item.
I did want the I was hoping they would maybe be like the Utah like golden plates, and then I could get a Joseph, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
Brand New wants to know if Cop will get more than 33 points this year. Well, Mike, he's still recovering from core surgery. So,
God damn it. Longest running joke of the show.
I mean, look, what are the real chances here? I mean, sitting 30. So, there's a good chance he's not going to finish the season.
I don't want this to be a Hammer Cop episode. We're going to have at least 8 or 9 of those this season. My question is, if you guys are looking at this Jay Fresh projection, who's treated us pretty well over the years, we're like, God damn it, this guy's so good at predicting things with his model. If you're looking at Carolina, Matt, you're pretty high on them. You think that's pretty solid playoff pick. They're going to make the playoffs.
No, I think there's a good chance.
You wholeheartedly hate Carolina. Got it.
I think New Jersey that's a pretty good projection.
I love New Jersey. I think they're going to be great. Rangers, big fan of everything they do. Always jealous of how they do their off seasons. Give me the Rangers. So that's 2. Matt, Carolina's a maybe for you. Florida,
yeah,
definitely in. Definitely in.
Yes.
Maple Leafs, definitely in.
Yep.
Boston, definitely in.
I mean, they got Swayman now, so if he plays 60 games of how he normally plays 40 games, they should be okay.
And then you got Ottawa.
I guess. No.
Let me help you out a little bit.
No, I can't do it. No.
Let me help you out.
No, Ottawa.
Let me help you out a little bit. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Kachuk, Stützle, Josh Norris, Claude Giroux, a little David Perron action, Shane Pito, Sanderson, Thomas Shabbat, Linus Ullmark. Oh, yeah, a little Ullmark action, yeah. Does that do anything for you? Do you think that is more talent than DeBrincat, Larks, Luke's, Caners, Talbot, and the boys?
No. I think we're better than Ottawa.
Wow. Is it the depth or the top line guys?
Yeah, I think we have a better top 6.
I think that I didn't appreciate Perron as much as I probably should have, but do you feel like Tarasenko is an upgrade over him?
Offensively, he should be. We've already seen it in the preseason too. He's got that look right now where it's just. Remember how we felt when we first saw Verana in a winged wheel and it just looked effortless? That's how it looks for Tarasenko, and we saw it with Kane all year last year. It just looks effortless. Just whip it at the net and goes in.
I'm very excited to finally get my Kane jersey this season, but do you think that the deal breaker here might be the goaltending? Like, do you want Ullmark or do you want the Red Wings 3-for?
Yeah, that's like the X factor. I feel like if Ullmark, again, we just had with Swayman too. Swayman and Ullmark had been dragging as Boston has had bad advanced analytics. When you look at the expected goals for percentage, it's like the opposite story for Ottawa on 5-on-5 play. So Ottawa actually plays a game to control the puck, and they had crappy Korpisalo. Now Boston is going to be playing Korpisalo a fifth of the time, who just couldn't keep anything out of the net. So Ottawa brings in a competent goaltender with, honestly, a maybe just average defensive play. And Boston last year showed to have a below average defensive play at time. Even though, when you take a look at those names, you would trust a lot of those names more than you would Ottawa. But when you take a full season, that was the case. These are notes too. I'm stealing from Jesse Granger, so this was not research I did myself. But Jesse Granger was grading this out and said there is a huge opportunity here for Ottawa to just come out hot. You get a hot start from Stützle, and Ullmark plays like Ullmark, the guy who was up for Vezinas. I mean, what would he do? It's just it could get really scary in our division if Ullmark pulls it off. But I don't know.
The other, let me see if I can get this here. All right, so their first month, October, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They get 9 games. They start out with Florida, then they get Montreal, then they get the Kings, Devils, Lightning, the Utah Hockey Club, Vegas Knights, Colorado, and the Blues. So they also have a pretty tough schedule too. So I feel like at least, if they're getting a bunch of cupcakes, I'd be like, oh man, like that first month could be really discouraging, but they also have some pretty tough games. So far, Matt, our 2 shots to kind of get into the playoffs is a tumble of Carolina and this misguided love for Ottawa. Let's hit a few comments, and then I do want to run Tampa Bay by you just to see which roster you'd rather have.
Blake says,
oh yeah, Blake just saying that defense is terrible in Ottawa. Not a fan of Sanderson and Shabbat. Doesn't do a lot for you, Matt.
I mean, that's Blake's feelings. I just commented on their strategy was able to limit chances. So Ketzel, no way in hell does Ottawa bump that much after one season, especially in this division. Yeah, I do feel like in this division, everybody's like some of the talent got spread around. Like even Florida, just a tiny bit worse than last year with the way their lineup was constructed. I feel like you could just take this standing and just kind of squish it, in which case it's going to be the difference of like a game between everybody. So bring Florida. I you know what? I will say I would definitely flip Toronto and Florida. I feel like Toronto, everybody's going to hate this. I think Toronto's going to get rewarded for being patient and holding on to this core. I think they're about to have a really good season.
You're not going to hear any pushback from me. I know there's,
questions in net.
Jericho had the man of 1,000 holds. There's 1,001 jokes at Toronto's expense, but I still think that this is the year again. But a couple comments here. Dan B chirping in, I'll miss Perron's ability to control pucks. It was time to move on. But somebody had a really good one that I liked. Where'd it go? Oh, it was Ketzel. Ketzel, you've been cooking today. Maybe with the line that isn't as good on the boards means we finally move away from dump and chase. Yeah, it is a little weird that our dump and chase mentality was so popular and such a frequent move of ours, right? System-wise. And we were relying on 35-year-old Perron to get it done. So I'm excited to maybe move more towards, showcasing some skill.
Yeah.
Because we know that first and second line can do that. On the third line, that's okay. It's not their job. But the fourth line, maybe a little bit. We've seen Veleno make a few moves. We know the Burger likes to dangle a little bit. And hey, performance art, better late than never. How you doing, dude? And he's in lockstep with us. Don't sleep on the Maple Leafs having a great regular season. Playoffs, another animal, but we'll get there when we get there. So Matt, I did want to just throw Tampa Bay's because I feel like Ottawa, Carolina, and I know you were almost making a case for Boston, maybe, kind of outkicking their coverage a little bit, but this Tampa Bay roster, let me know if this is one you think we can topple. You got the Cooch, Braden Point, of course, Jake, Mike, please call me Gwensel. We got Hagel, Sorelli, Nick Paul, who he's always out there. He's always doing stuff. Victor Hedman, Ryan McDonough.
Shit.
And what scares me is that was a little misleading that Tampa kind of tumbled a little bit in the standings because this guy was out for so many games, but the best goalie in the game, Vasilevsky. I still will call it that, just because he had some boo-boos. I'll say the best when healthy goalie in the game.
Yeah, he's got the most what do you call it? Silver. I don't know, gold, whatever. I was gonna say gold, and then like the cup isn't gold. Anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, the defense. I mean, even if you wanted to make an argument about like Hedman getting older, this is still scary. And then your top line on this team, it's fine that you lost Stamkos. Yeah, the big question here is going to be, what does that do to the team's like morale kind of thing? Like, do we still believe in this team where we're just their playthings? So that could come into play, but I mean, this first line of Gensel, Point, and Kucherov is scary as hell.
Do you feel like Lee is that much better than Compher? Because that's their second line center now without Stamkos. Unless you're going to say it's like Connor Geeky.
Who did you say? I would say Cirelli. Who did you say?
That's what I said, Cirelli.
Oh, got it. I would take Cirelli over Compher and Cop. Yeah, why
Is
not?
that just because it's we're kind of used to their warts?
I mean, it could be. I just, I see a thing that makes sense in Tampa and works. I don't think it necessarily has to be like this is the difference between a Stanley Cup or not. The Stanley Cup's coming because of the first line. Not that I'm picking Tampa to win a Stanley Cup, but yeah, I think just overall comparing Cirelli to Compher and Cop, which I think the games are different, but I think your comment earlier about trying to find to define what these different lines are going to be about, I think that's where the difference is going to be made. And I think Cirelli, I don't know. I think with
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to finish it off with I think with what's possible and like holding onto the puck and limiting chances on the other side because you're holding onto the puck are a little bit higher with Cirelli, but
performance art saying I still have trouble seeing how we make up goals lost. Really the only offensive guy that I feel like we're gonna miss, maybe, is the Ghost Bear. I mean, I don't think we're dying, without Sprong and Perron and it's Sprong and Perron, really. And I mean, you replace him with Tarasenko, and now you're gonna try the burger up there. So, I feel like if we want to do try to do a, well, this is just me criticizing my own point that Tampa, maybe had a few less points last season than they might have because Vasilevsky was out for so long. We had gaps without Larkin, which is, such a detriment to the entire franchise. It can't happen. And it's not impossible. Like, we're not asking him to do something crazy. I think we were just looking at Crosby's stats at age 37, 36, and he played 82 games. So, it's not asking, too much for Larkin to appear in every game. And we see what a difference that makes, for the team's morale, the team's scoring, the team's defense. We also only had Kane for, a portion of the season. It wasn't the entire, I don't know if he's going to play 82, but it would be nice to get him out there for 70 games, right? So maybe the goal scoring's not as bleak. It's just funny that now we're going to try to be a defensive team after adding Tarasenko, and our defense is largely the same. So I don't know. I don't know if that identity switch really works. But a few more comments here, Matt, and then I want you to hop back in. Just Brad saying Cirelli is a little bit more physical than JT. Performance art saying Larkin healthy, 90-point scorer, which is great. Did I have one more for you? No, I think Just performance art, putting in a late bid for comment of the episode. Kind of looking at the numbers for what we're hoping we do offensively with Lucas, Tarasenko, and Kane out of a Ketzel comment. Performance art saying that's a lot of hope and prayers. We'll see.
Yeah, there's an opportunity here too. Montreal with Patrick Kane going down for Montreal to be our Chicago White Sox this year. So you can take advantage of that across this division, and there's an injury somewhere else. This could really turn on its head, but you got some old vets on your team too, which would be when I say your team, speaking to who's listening, it could also flip on us pretty easily. Could get to that point too. Like things don't start out great. Somebody makes a surprise appearance on LTIR after really tough game, and Larkin, shoot, he's gonna be out for 4 months, guys. And then we get the first pick. So, but yeah, I think the conversation just gets more and more bleak the deeper we go into this. But
yeah,
there's an opportunity here because I think the standings here, I think Toronto would be above Florida, looking at Jay Fresh's standings. But then I think Florida down to Buffalo is going to squeeze much tighter than 101 to 84. I think it'll probably be they drop, couple points or down to like 98, 97. And then Buffalo may be able to squeak in 85, 86. And then and it's not necessarily Buffalo either, but it's just all of that tension, and whoever, gets Montreal at the right time or at the wrong time kind of thing. And
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Decoy. With seconds left in this game, saying Brady Kachuk likes Diddy parties. Thank you, Decoy. We missed you, bud. So glad he parachute in just to drop that little nugget of wisdom for us. Oof.
Blake's hot take to end the show.
I mean, we got to end on a non-Diddy party joke from Decoy. God damn it.
Blake's his big bold take for the 24-25 season. Berggren, Tarasenko will have more goals than Perron, Fabry, and Sprong combined.
Apologies. That's who I forgot in our losses.
Oh, Fabry? Is that?
Yeah. He just never plays. That's why I didn't even. What else is new? He's not playing for the Wings. It's not news.
Performance art says, "What? And I just got here. Going for an hour, brother. Gotta." Mike, we haven't really talked about personal stuff, but I've been getting like 3 to 5 hours of sleep every night this week. It has been a rough one.
Ooh,
so
Yeah.
Matt needs some rest. Tomorrow is going to be an adventure. Staying up till midnight, driving home after that Wings game.
Oh, you're going to be buzzed after the Tigers win and then the Red Wings win.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be a hell of a drive home.
If anybody's going to be at the game, hit us up. We're going to be there. We're in the lower bowl. Grab some Little Caesars pizza and a beer. We'll have a good time.
Hell yeah.
All right. It won't be as bad as we played it out to be today, guys, but obviously it's, we'll have fun this year. We'll have fun. Kasper will come up. Kasper's going to get called up.
We're looking at it with Stanley Cup eyes. Let's just look at it as we're going to be excited about this regular season. We have another season of Patrick Kane. Lucas Raymond's better than ever. Larkin, 90 points. Man, we got 6 goalies. What more do you want? Let's go.
Just keep switching them out until it works, like Kinch. That's...
I think
just every period we've got a new goalie going.
When the Tigers playoffs are over, can he get behind the bench and just kind of run the Red Wings lines?
Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be pretty cool. Hell of a manager. All right. We will see you guys next week, and we'll have some fun games to talk about.
Aren't you going to be on vacation?
I won't be here next week. I will see you in 2 weeks, but Matt will probably be here next week. Or maybe we'll do a Tuesday show. Who knows?
We'll see you guys. We'll let you know. Just keep an eye out on the YouTube. See ya.